Hey, welcome back to another episode of Prep Radio. Tom Blackman with Paul Scarborough. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm good. And how was your Christmas?
Festive.
Festive. You actually were festive.
It was all right, actually. It was a little bit slow to a degree. And by that, I mean, it was a struggle to keep up with the days and stuff. I had the week before Christmas off my day job. And Christmas sort of came and it was sort of like, oh, Christmas is tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And it was sort of like, oh, okay. And then it was New Year's Eve.
Did you actually get your presents like before the 23rd of December?
Oh, yeah, I got those. Amazon's an amazing product.
Yeah, that's what I get most of my stuff for. Although me and Sam went out to we went out shopping for one day and literally just went around everywhere and got additional stuff as well. But yeah, it's I used to do all my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. I used to run the gauntlet, and actually, because I don't see a lot of my family till after Christmas, I go out in the Boxing Day sales and get a lot of presents. So I used to anyway. I don't now.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I just have to buy for Jen. Jen,
because she does all the this is for me and Daddy stuff, and it's like, okay, I got you that.
Yeah, and yeah, you know, I guess it was. I guess it's not really although the children thing. Obviously, we both got kids and stuff, and that's a big thing, obviously. But apart from that, man, it was, I don't know, quite okay.
Yeah, you know? Good. Okay, well, at least you didn't sort of like nearly die this year. So that's 1 year under your belt.
Yeah, the fact that I'm still alive, that's obviously a good thing. And that's my New Year's resolution to
stay alive.
Yeah. So, that's always a good one to have. But, and for those that watch the podcast over the years, they can see that I'm now wearing glasses full time when I'm on the thing. And that's because I really do struggle with my eyes when I'm looking at my screen now. So yeah. So and it ages upon us, so to speak. Yeah. So how was your Christmas?
It was all right. It was so I did the Christmas opening again. So since ministry's opened, since we opened in 2000,
you do that for charity, don't you?
Yeah. So we it's only the last couple of years we've been partnered with the Bristol Children's Hospital, and so every Christmas we do a collection. So anybody who comes in with day passes and pays cash, it doesn't go in the till, it goes in the Christmas donation. I think we managed to raise just about 200 quid in 2 hours this year. Nice. Yeah, so that was not too bad, and and it's quite good. We had about 50 people come down to the gym to train. It's quite nice. Then I saw Jacob in the afternoon, done Santa and stuff, and yeah, it was quite nice. It's quite a nice couple of days. Wasn't too busy. And New Year's, I mean, I don't know about you, mate, but after like 15 years doing the door, I've seen enough New Year's Eves come in. I just can't be bothered to stay up.
It's sort of a non-event, mate, to be fair, in my house. It not just me. I'm the same as you. I did the doors for nigh on 20 years down here in Plymouth and stuff. And Christmas Eve and, around about Christmas, and then New Year's Eve. And even then I used to hate working on New Year's Eve because it was just ridiculous. And I'm not sure what it's like in Bristol, but at the moment there's very few taxis in Plymouth.
I think there's it's sometimes difficult to get one for sure on an Uber. Yeah.
No, they've got a real shortage in Plymouth of taxi drivers. I think a lot of them with the pandemic have gone to like supermarkets and stuff like that.
All right.
When Jen's been out with her girlfriends and stuff, it's been like 4 or 5 hours, for a taxi.
Are you sure? We couldn't get a taxi. It's been 5 hours, and this nice guy dropped us home.
Stay in the club and keep drinking because hydration, and but it's really bad. So But to be honest, mate, it's a non-event. Jen's the same, you know. I just go to bed and get woke up at like 1 minute past 12 by all the idiots that live around me with fireworks and stuff like that. So
yeah, we had that as well. Yeah, we had that. So thing is, I think New Year's Eve, you know, because there's so many years doing the door, it feels like if you don't have a fight at 12 at 1 minute past 12, it's not like New Year's Eve, is it? So
well, you know, it I suppose this sounds like two old men. You know,
it
yeah,
is.
but in my
It
days,
is actually two old men talking.
and it is actually two old men. Yeah. It just holds nothing for me. To be fair, my daughter didn't go out because she was like, I went out last night because, you know, nothing's bumped up in price. You can get in places, you know, come New Year's Eve, everybody's got a door price, and then the alcohol's up, and, you know, so her and her friends went out the day before and then just stayed around her place.
Yeah.
You know, and thing. But all good. New Year's resolutions, any?
So I do actually. So over Christmas, I have constructed a new tool for my coaching, and which is it's the obviously one I just showed you on the before we done the podcast. But because a lot of people, as New Year's Eve resolutions, they say, "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and do this," and then they don't. And I have done a YouTube video on like why resolutions fail and what you need to do, and it's all about
you are the YouTube man, aren't you?
Not really. I have 300 videos, so I'm not really the king yet. But
yeah, but 300 videos in like the last year, 18 months.
Well, I did 110 videos in 90 days between the lockdown periods. Yeah, I did that. Yeah. But yeah, so I built a tool for my coaching group with a smart planning tool. So you get your focus, then you break that down into sort of smaller smart goals, and then you put that into a thing and it tracks it and everything else. So and I've tested it, it works, and I'm actually going to use it myself because I've fallen into the trap of not eating enough protein again, because I don't, you know, I'm not competing or anything else. So I've fallen into that trap of not having enough protein, fallen into the trap of not reading anymore, which I should be reading to keep my education up and so stuff like that. So I'll put in some smart goals for, I'm going to do this thing either every day or a couple of days a week, and then I'm going to tick them off, and then I'm going to track and be accountable. So New Year's resolutions, yes, I have about 4 or 5 smart goals that I'm going to they're going to help me achieve my bigger goal of becoming a better bodybuilder, better human or whatever. But they're all based around basic nutrition, training, self-development, that sort of thing.
Spoken like a real fitpro. Nice one. I'm
not really a fitpro yet. I think I'm probably too old.
There's a lot. There are a lot from Bristol.
I'm sure there is. Yeah. What about you?
No,
you've got one already. Not dying.
Yeah, that's obviously that. I think that's more of a motto for life since 2017. I don't do New Year's resolutions.
Oh,
because I don't do them. To be honest,
remember them.
Yeah, because of the Alzheimer's, by the middle of January, I'm done.
You just said that.
But no, I've never. You know, I to be honest, consistency for me is a thing nowadays. Something that wasn't an issue for me pre like 2017. Even after we both retired from competitive bodybuilding in 2015, I was still, you know, on it. I was weighing my food, I was eating the required amount and stuff like that. And I guess obviously 2017 when I was ill, and then 2018 with the transplant and the surgeries that came after that and into 2019, it really wasn't at the forefront of my mind.
We're getting your adequate protein intake.
Yeah.
Getting your steps up to 10,000 a day.
Yeah, just getting to the gym and you know, getting to the gym 3 days in a row or 3 times in a week was a thing, you know. But what I've seen this year, what I saw last year is when I went for my checkup in August, I was 87 kilos. When I went for my check-in, my checkup was April, and then it was slightly longer time due to the pandemic. I think I was like 83. you know, and by August I was 87. And that purely was down to consistency. The gyms had opened again after the first lockdown and stuff like that. And it was just consistency in getting to the gym, because when I got to the gym, I was a little bit happier. I ate more, and you know what it is, you know.
Yeah.
And then I really hit a sort of real streak between August and mid-November. And I felt great in the gym. I was getting the pump that I was getting in the gym was lasting like until I had a shower at home, you know, and things like that. And I went up to 92 kilos. And I actually had my checkup in November, and my consultant, who's the consultant who I had that day was the consultant I very first saw like 10 years ago when it all started and stuff. And he was like, wow, 92 kilos. He said, is that a thing for you? And I could tell it wasn't sort of thing, have you been doing naughty stuff? It was more
the trend, mate.
Yeah, it was more, is that what you're aiming for, sort of thing too. And I said, well, no, I'm not. There's nothing in my head that's saying I must build muscle, I must put on weight. I said it's just a case of having some consistency in the gym, which makes me feel happier, makes me feel more positive. So then I'm eating, you know, and when I'm eating, and I think this is a bodybuilding thing, and you've probably got it as well. When I'm eating, I'm like, protein. Yeah, I'll have this, but I've got to have protein. And one of the messages I say to my eldest boy, Aiden, who's 15, who's just started in the gym actually, is, you know, just eat. Don't be fussing around what to eat. And you're 15, you know, you're like a broomstick. So you're not, you know, just eat, make sure you eat protein with every meal. Even if it's donuts, have a protein shake.
Donut protein shake.
Yeah, just, you know. And I think that's how it came. And I gained up. Since then, I've been ill. Unfortunately, I had a chest infection, which I ignored, and it nearly turned into pneumonia, which would have been a problem. It's dropped a bit. But overall, I think it's not really a New Year's resolution, but overall, it's just a matter of being consistent with going to the gym. And it's not even people can go, yeah, you know, God, your health's more important, Paul, or there's more to life, you know, which I've heard a lot of over the last few years.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it mental health, you know, is, and I can definitely quantify, it's definitely a thing. You know, I know we went through a period where a lot of the like guys on the internet, mental health, everybody's suffering from mental health now. It's just snowflakes, blah, blah, blah. And I guess in a way, I was like that, you know, 5, 7, 10 years ago. I was like that, man up, you know, man up. You know, I'm from the north, you know, stop being a snowflake, blah, blah, blah. But I think, you know, it's definitely, we all obviously all know it's a thing, but I really honestly believe it's, you know, it's becoming, and I don't think it's a trendy thing. It's just, you know, I think it's when you hit adversity, when you hit something that knocks your socks off, so to speak.
Yeah.
Then you doubt yourself no matter where you go. You know, I've got loads of pictures to show how good I was and what I did and stuff like that. And I love it when people, you know, pass positive comments about those. But a friend of mine who's a PT in one of the gyms in Plymouth, I trained at the gym the other night with Aiden, and just had a t-shirt on, nothing, you know, I don't wear vests or anything like that anymore. And he came over and went, wow, you're a bit of a beast. Look at the size here. And I was like, right, okay. You know, and he's one of those friends, he wouldn't say it, you know, he would say it if he thought it, you know. And then I wondered if it was because I looked okay, or the fact that I was still managing to train. But either way, I'll take it. And it really did, it really did make me more positive in general. not just about in the gym, but just in general. And that just leads me to just how people are, in general with other people. It's like, just be nice,
Are we going to talk about being kind here?
Yeah, we're going to talk about being kind and how you are on the internet. Thomas.
I'm all right. I first to admit that in the past, I have been very confrontational on the internet with people. But like as years have gone on, I've just basically worked out that it's not worth having arguments with people on the internet, because especially if you don't know them and they're just, people who like drag me into conversations and go, oh, what do you think about this idiot Tom Blackman tag? Not I'm an idiot. They tagged me, I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm not going to comment. It's just, why would I comment on someone I don't know and I don't know their situation and everything else? But I suppose that's, as age goes on, you become less interested in having arguments.
I think that's what it is, Tom. I don't like it now. It's not that I don't like it. I haven't got the energy that I want to use. I want to use that on things that either benefit me from a business point of view or from a personal point of view. Our daily morning slagging the world off is a benefit, So, and I genuinely feel, unless you're behind the wheel of a car, what's the point in arguing and shouting at people?
What's the point of getting angry unless they've cut you up, idiot?
Yeah. Obviously, we both had a decent Christmas, I suppose.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about New Year's. We started New Year's resolutions, but it's the whole thing about New Year's diets and training and the potential pitfalls that are there, and also some of the things that pop up in social media ads about this time of the year. Well, one of my favorite ones of those is an ad which only pops up in December, and it's for an app or a thing called Lumen, which is
I saw that the other day.
Yeah. So Lumen, as well as being stomach lining, is an app stroke product where it professes to be able to tell you when you're in fat burning by breathing into it.
That's what we did, wasn't it? After Prep Series, down at our friend's lab in. Essentially the thought behind it is the same.
Yeah, so it's a respiration test. So it's what you're breathing out. Are you breathing out? And if you don't know about this, if you're exerting yourself quite highly, then you'll burn more carbohydrates, and so you'll expel more carbon dioxide. I think it's a little while since I've done that. And anyway, so Lumen professes to be able to measure that you're in ketosis or in fat burning, probably because of your respiratory exchange ratio. That's what it is, isn't it? So
yeah.
So if it's a lower respiratory exchange ratio, then you're more fat burning. If it's higher towards 1 or more, it's more carbohydrate. So and it pretends to do that and then tell you in fat burning. But also it's just one of the big con things I see happening. And it's designed, that the language on it is designed, and you can tell actually that the person who wrote it is not of an English speaking as in first language, because some of the grammar is slightly off. So it does just feel like it's like a foreign advert for like in the UK market. And it's complete rubbish, but that's one that stands out. But it's the other thing is like, keto shredz diets and all these other things, and everyone seems to be like, in January we don't do discounts at the gym. Yeah, so people have come into the gym in January and gone, you got any deals on in January? I'm like, why would I do a deal? You're going to sign up. Why do I need to do a deal to get you into the? And the reason for this is because JD and Pure and all these other places are doing offers in January, and see my perspective on that. And I say this on the gym social media and everything else, is that all these gyms doing offers to drag people in to take advantage of their New Year motivation, whatever else, all they're doing is overcrowding their gym. They're trying to take short-term advantage, which I appreciate is a business tactic. I get that. But it's a business tactic against the interest of the consumer. And that's wrong. The business tactic should always be in the interest of the consumer to provide a more excellent experience to the consumer.
So you charge more.
Yeah, we charge.
But empties your gym.
A guy came in actually the other day and said, "Oh, yeah, I've been away for a while. I'm in January. Can I sign up?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, it's £100 for January." He's like, "Look at me." I was like, "Nah, I'm only joking, mate. it's not. I'll give you a discount down to 40." And
but with my January discount,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's what, and people going, "Oh yeah," like JD are like, "Oh yeah, no joining fee, and the first month is like £9 or whatever." Okay, so the joining fee for a start is just a way to add more money to revenue. It's you don't get anything for a joining fee. You just, oh, I can join up. Oh, great. That's £10, £15, whatever. It's just a tax on joining a gym. And they only have it to be able to say, oh, we're going to give away our joining fee. So if you listen to this, you go to any gym, if you argue the toss on the joining fee, you'll always get it off because it's a sale point to get you down. But we don't do joining fees because we don't charge for nothing. And we just charge, like, it's £40 flat fee. That's it. Or you can pay for the year. But why would I discount that in January? Why would I say, yeah, you're coming in anyway? Why would I discount that? Because it's going to overcrowd my gym, annoy the members who have been there for a little while and have been long-term supportive members. Why would I do that? And what it seems to be is that every person who's got any sort of like coaching program or anything like that at the moment, not everybody, but a lot of the people you see pop up on the fad times, when it's like, getting shreds or whatever.
Mostly those that live in Dubai.
Well, a lot of people live in Dubai, but, a lot of people are popping up with, oh yeah, here's like 50% off my coaching in January. Here's 50%, here's 60%. I saw one for Thor, Chris Hemsworth, Thor out of Marvel. He's fronting an app called Changer or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. 70% off. Like, why if it's a good app, why would you give that much discount? Why would you give that massive discount? Yeah, okay. Like,
but doesn't that just show how much overcharging they're doing?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. If you, it's like how DFS do their sales, isn't it? Oh, this is normally £3,000, but in the DFS sale, which is every day, we'll give it to you for 1,500 quid. But they actually do put their prices up, like, so they can drop it down. They have to do that by law.
Yeah.
But if you know, but a lot of these people who are saying it's discounted apps, their apps are always discounted. There's no set, which is actually against consumer trade law, but I think anyway. But if people are saying, oh, it's £70, 70% off, or whatever else. So, but if your app has value, if it's going to give someone change, if it's going to make a meaningful change to their life, shouldn't you be selling it on that with oh, okay, here's a 25% discount for the first 20 people or whatever else, But just to blanket say, oh yeah, it's like 70% off, which equates to 20p a day or whatever else. I'm like, well, why do you need to push on the price per day? That's a Walmart strategy, isn't it? It's like stack them high, sell it cheap. So it's like, oh yeah, don't actually care what's in the product at all. It's just this price and it's cheap.
Well, that's it. It's not selling the product on what the product can give you in a positive manner.
Yeah.
It's monetizing it and going, right, okay, because my wife keeps on telling me about, not buying mainly trainers if they're discounted because I wouldn't get them otherwise. And that's half right. But it's that thing, oh, look at that Chris Hemsworth, who knows loads about health and fitness and stuff, because he's got his body into really good shape, or his trainers have, and his private chef. So he says this is really good, so it must be really good. And he's giving us 70% off. And then you get it, and it just doesn't, it's not customized to you, it's not personalized, it's very script written, so anything.
I think with that, like the customization thing, I think that's if you want a customized program, if you want a customized diet, then you go and hire a one-to-one coach, because that's what you want, isn't it? You want customized to you. I think a lot of people, and I see this with a lot of coaches as well, saying, "Oh yeah, it's a customized this, that, the other," but it's not. They're just saying that because that's what they think people want. People are actually quite happy to say, "That's fine. I'll have some workout templates. I'll have a diet guide so I know roughly how to eat, because I'm only paying £15 a month. So I'm not expecting to get a full one-to-one meeting with a coach every 5 minutes for that." So I think there's a lot of the coaches who are saying they're trying to sell like, this is this, and then it's a low price. So then that immediately says to the consumer, well, all that for that really low price. Something's up there.
It does. I use an app, as you do.
Yeah.
And as we both know, it's not cheap.
No.
And my coaching is a lot better since the app, mainly because of access. Because it works on mobile phones, it gives everybody the access to the information all the time. So when they're in the gym and stuff, they don't have to print it out, take it with them or whatever. So it's a brilliant tool that I use and what have you. But it's because I don't know if you've seen it, but you've got the base stuff, which is an underlining app that you join as a coach and then you customize it to your own thing, or you actually pay someone to create an app for you.
Yeah.
And that's like get your own app from $99 or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and the guy's selling the programs for $19.99 for 3 months. So they want a sort of level of exclusivity from having their own app, but they're selling their programs for 20 quid.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
The other thing there is that, honestly, people don't really care if it's your app or if it's an app that you've white labeled on another sort of, template, whatever. People don't care about that. People care, is this, well, I suppose some people care that they're actually going to use the app. A lot of people just buy stuff with no intention of ever using it, just to buy it, so they can say they've bought an app to help with their fitness. But a lot of people don't care about it. They care about, it's like when people work with you and me, I've never had anybody say, oh Tom, before we work together, can I just see your certificate about your nutrition qualifications? And can I just see your insurance? And can I see all this sort of stuff? Because they don't care. They want the result. And the result is what we've been shown to do again and again and again with clients and our testimonials. So people don't care that when people say, oh yeah, it's my own custom app. Why lie? I mean, I obviously, me and you use the same white label app for our stuff, but obviously our content on it is different. It's the content that defines you. So I don't go around saying, oh yeah, I got this app built from scratch because I'm such a baller with loads of money. Well, actually, you're very stupid if you do that, because I've gone to a proper software house to look at building an app for another project I've got on, and the base minimum viable product was 20 grand, and that was the setup. That wasn't even to do all the extra things we were going to do later on, and that project's still going to happen, but a little bit further down the line. And even if you can go to the Philippines and get a guy in the Philippines to help with that, or India or whatever to help with that, because one of my colleagues has done that as well for his business outside of fitness. And he's got a very good app and software thing built, which he makes a lot of money from. But it was not cheap to get that done, and it's not about, oh yeah, we built this app. It's then about the maintenance of that app, because you've got to have servers and maintenance and admin costs.
I think you're right. No one comes to me and goes, yeah, the reason why I've come to you is because you've got your own app.
Yeah. Makes me very happy to know.
Yeah. When people come to me, I say, and the way that I deliver my stuff is on an app now. So, and that's just really taken over from sending emails with Excel or Word documents on it, or passing pages of A4 across, But one thing that comes up quite often in January with these deals is, and it's a real bugbear for mine at any point of the year, is before and after pictures. Don't get me wrong, before and after pictures are obviously relevant because it does show you as a coach of what you could do given certain circumstances. Yeah. But there's no context. And that's what's the annoying thing. There's no context with the majority of them. Now, I follow a coach in Australia. He's a decent guy, actually. He's called Coach Carroll. And he uses his girlfriend as a model most of the time in his videos, but he does a lot of instructional videos. So he tells you things like to do a reverse lunge, it's how your body's positioned to if you get the quads or the hamstrings or the glutes and so on and so forth. It's not just him or her doing one and going, yeah, there you go, because you can get loads of those on YouTube. So he does an 8-week challenge and he puts dates and context to the before and afters.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when you get someone going, here's a load of before and afters and there's no context. That could have been a year. That could have been 16 weeks of eating fairy dust and doing 5 hours cardio a day. It just a little bit of context is, mainly a time frame. How long did you do that? And that's one of the reasons I don't do before and after pictures. And plus I'm crap.
Because you're crap and no one ever gets any results.
Yeah, before and before, same. No.
You should just pay someone to be an after picture and then pay someone to be a before picture and then just Photoshop the same face on and go, look, that person lost 20 pounds and they changed ethnicity as well.
I think I saw an advert the other month on some product. It was a piss take and it was this fat white bloke. And he's like, in 30 days, this is me after. And it was a black bloke that was shredded. It's like, this is my before and after. But yeah, it's just a bugbear of mine. It's the context makes it relevant or not. For example, new client starting with me, she can, she's 52-year-old teacher, a single parent. She can only train for about 30 minutes a day. And the best time to do that is in the morning. So her getting really great results is not going to happen in 6 weeks because of her job, her responsibilities, the available time to do the workout.
Age as well is going to be an issue there as well.
Exactly. So a before and after picture for her, because I'm initially working with her for 12 weeks, there would be a difference, but it's more on what she's learned from mindful eating, mindful actions, habits, things like that, that maybe if, let's say she just worked with me for 12 weeks and then carried it on in 6 months time, did an after then. And it's like, oh yeah, it's not about the difference. It's about the fact that there is a difference. And she managed to keep that going after she stopped working with me. To me, that's a transformation.
I think there's, obviously people need to see that you can get results. But I suppose the other thing here is that a lot of the clients that me and you work with are very private people. And a lot of the guys I work with, because I mainly work with guys now, they're, because of the nature of their jobs and stuff like that, they don't want, because I work with people who are in jobs which can't be public.
In prison.
So I can't interview them. I can't put their before and afters and stuff like that up because then obviously they're not allowed to do that. So the people obviously I do interview and everything else, that we're very clear that the transformation is over. Well, it's a minimum of 12 weeks with me now, because that's where you see that like you said, it's habit change and everything else. And actually, what's ironic here is the initial 6 weeks, that's not where you see the massive results. You'll see some drop and everything else, but actually, if we're talking about building muscle, if we're talking about transforming the body composition and how you look, really that's a 12-week minimum, because muscle takes time to come on and body fat takes time to go and everything else. And
what do you mean that you can't achieve fat loss and build muscle for your clients within 6 weeks?
Well, I'm not saying that's not possible. Just get your medicine cabinet out, and then you can see what happens there.
Get your booster in, you'll be cool.
Get your booster up, yeah. Get your vitamin C. What I'm saying is that the 6-week period, and people seem to have this thing about, I must show them what happened in 6 weeks. And the reason for that is that people are very short-term minded. And by posting up your 6-week transformations, you're just reinforcing to that potential person who's come to work with you that they're going to see miracle results in 6 weeks. And actually, what should be very honest with people is say, look, you want a life-changing, long-term change, then it's not 6 weeks. It's probably 6 months. Now, you don't have to work with me for all that time, but if you do, you'll get there faster. But over 12 weeks, that's going to really set the habits. That's going to really set the routines in place. It's going to get you working towards goals and hitting them and adjusting and everything else. 6 weeks is just not enough time to see meaningful transformation. You can lay a lot of foundation there. Sure, you can lay a foundation if you're using the 6 weeks as a kickstart to say, get more motivation back to lay foundations for the future. That's fine. But what a lot of people sell is this: in 6 weeks, all your problems will be over. And that's just not the case.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Everybody wants it now, don't they?
Yeah.
And essentially you won't get any adverts now about, you get a few, I suppose, get ready for summer and stuff, because it's all about the new year and the, eating crap at Christmas, and, where really coaches with any common sense would be starting talking about getting ready for summer now, because it takes time. Anybody who makes a difference with any of clients within 2 weeks, a month, has to be honest in the fact that the majority of that change is hydration, is water. Be it, we both know, you take a normal guy, normal woman that hasn't really, they sort of know healthy eating, but they know it and sort of follow it and then don't, and, and they go to the gym and whatever, and you get a hold of them and you make sure that they drink 2 to 3 liters of water a day. They eat a maintenance diet, not even a deficit diet, but a maintenance diet that they should be eating, and they train consistently, which is really the bare bones of what any coach should be offering. And within a month, they've changed massively, visually.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the scale, but visually they will have changed, because they would have got rid of a lot of fluid retention through just increased activity, eating better.
And also you got, like you said, you got that, it's that initial thing about you're now accountable to someone, you're now doing the right thing, you're now following some sort of, not regimented is the wrong word, but some sort of plan for food, plan for workouts. So because of that, obviously everything brings into line, you start to see results very quickly. But then those initial results, they start to plateau, and that's where the real work begins of assessing mistakes and assessing, why is the weight stalled? Do we need more food? Do we need less food, et cetera, et cetera? And that's really around the sort of 4 to 5 week mark when that happens, because you have got that initial, unless you're a real dipshit coach who's got no idea what they're doing, then you're going to see something in the first 4 weeks. After that, it's what we need to adjust and track and everything else. And so after 6 weeks, you were saying, oh yeah, now it's over. And the guy or the girl's like, well, okay, what do I do now? Oh, you pay me another 6 weeks. Okay, that might be fine, but then we do another 6 week shredz or whatever. A lot of these programs are 6 weeks, bye. And, it's, I mean, maybe I sound like a bit of a hypocrite here, because I do like something called Super 6 at the gym, which is like, it's like a fitness and it's not a fat loss program. It's showing people how to exercise better, giving them more ideas about nutrition and training, bit of accountability coaching. But the fact is the Facebook group and obviously the gym's there and it stays open after that time. So they have got extra help. But a lot of these programs aren't. They're just 6 weeks done. The Facebook group's closed. That's it.
It's like I've got a program for the rugby team that my son plays for, and that's 6 weeks. And we, the guys are 15, 16-year-olds. So we don't talk about calories as such. We talk about healthy eating. We talk about consistency. I speak to them about sleep, the requirement for sleep and how important that is if they want to progress as an athlete in rugby, or just generally want to build more muscle, because 15, 16-year-old is where they want to start. They want to start going to the gym and want to start putting muscle on and stuff. So I sat down with one and the kid's parent, and she was so impressed in what I'd included in it and stuff. She actually came on as a client herself, and it's just getting that message over to them that it's about all these habits that they've picked up without knowing to pick up. And he actually said, "What happens after 6 weeks?" I said, "Well, I've written it in such a way that I can give you then a PDF of everything that we've done for you to carry that on, and if you got any issues or questions, you can always send me a message. But I've made it so it's not a right, stop, don't contact me."
Paul, you just cut out there for a second. You just got to 6 weeks and stop, and then.
All right, okay. So what I was saying, because you went all still then, so you have to cut it.
All asleep with your conversation.
Yeah. So basically, what I was saying was, the initial plan with me, with working with me, which is the bit that costs, obviously, is 6 weeks for this particular package, but it's written and it's planned around habits and changing those habits and why you would change those habits. And then I can then basically grab all that content, put it in a PDF and hand it to the client and go, right, okay, keep following this, keep being accountable for this. These are where you should go next. And then on. There is no, in 6 weeks, you will be X. It is a habit training and nutritional sort of startup sort of thing, which most people, that's all they need really, unless they're obviously massively not motivated. But I do agree that 12 weeks is a really good marker for the majority of people.
Yeah, I'd say so. And what you're talking about there is sort of like a bit of an introduction with some habits and everything else. It's fine. I mean, it's not that in 6 weeks your life's going to be completely turned around. And I think that's the issue there. And because so many people push that type of behavior, that's what people think they need. They need a 6 week kickstart, I suppose. And at the end of the 6 weeks, and what happens is they start with all this motivation about, yeah, I'm going to do all this, and in 6 weeks I'm going to be shredded. And then when they find out that's a little bit harder than that, and the stuff they've got to do to get to that condition is a little bit harder than what they thought, the motivation generally starts to dip there. Okay, welcome back. Just cut out there again for a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so we were talking about 6 week coaches and stuff like that, which we've talked at length before. So Paul, let's say someone wants to transform or start a transformation in January, and they're really focused, everything else. You don't want to allow that motivation and focus to dip. So what would be, let's say we'll go a tip each on what someone could do, which doesn't cost them money in terms of outside what they would normally spend, etc. Doesn't really tax them in terms of the fact that they have to do excessive cardio, that sort of thing. So what small changes could people make? We'll go one each where they can see changes without having to go overboard in terms of adjustments.
Okay. Me first?
Yeah, because I've got to think of one.
To be honest, the first one that comes to mind is the boring one. It's but it's the most common one that is lacking in pretty much everybody I speak to, in that context is fluid intake. You know,
so dry January.
Yeah, you know, it's like if you I honestly believe if someone at the beginning of a month, yeah, said, right, I'm going to build up and increase my water intake, clear water intake, to between 2 and 3 liters, depending on what they're currently having. Because I was working with a client a year ago, and when I mentioned about fluid intake, it was like, I have coffees, teas, and then I'll probably drink water, about a liter of water while I'm training. And what I did is I gave her a goal to drink 1.5 liters of fluid, of water, outside the gym. So she was still drinking the liter in her workout, but I gave her a goal to drink that. And then I backed up that goal by just messages each evening. Did you reach your goal? Did you do yes, no, and why, and stuff like that.
So do you count a tea and a coffee as water intake?
No. And the reason for that is because normally tea and coffee are drank. It's not, for example, one day you could drink 3 coffees or teas, and then the next day, because you didn't sleep right or whatever, you could drink 6, or vice versa. So it's not consistent, you know. So if someone came to me and said, well, I'm bringing on a new client this month, she's just done a Q&A, and she says she drinks 2 liters of water a day, approximately. 1 liter of that is in training, and she restricts herself to 1 coffee a day. Yeah. The first thing I will say to her is to double the amount of water she drinks outside the gym. You know, that's the first thing. And then I would ask why she limits coffee. But not, you know, just why is it you limit it? Because she might be like, well, I limit it because of, you know, coffee's bad for you, isn't it? And things like that, which it isn't.
Awesome for you.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't want people to think something is bad for you when it's actually not bad for you, unless it's affecting your sleep and anxiety and stuff like that. So the first thing I would do, and I could literally, and this is what I'm saying it, I could literally for the first 4 weeks say, right, double your water outside the gym. So you're going from 1 liter to 2 liters for a week, and then add 0.5 liter every week for those 4 weeks. So at the end of those 4 weeks, she's going to be on 3.5, 4 liters outside the gym, and then 1 liter in the gym.
Yeah.
And I guarantee she will have dropped, with nothing else changed, at least 5 to 7 pounds.
Oh, well, for just, yeah. Okay. Yeah. From fluid. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So a tip would be, and I did a video on this the other day. You can see it on my Instagram if you go to the Instagrams. I think.
Oh yeah, I didn't do a video on that.
Well, that's why. That's because you're not 100% coach, and you need to up your video game.
So if anybody goes to my Instagram, they won't see me talking about this. They'll see a lot of educational information that doesn't include my face, because I don't like to put that out everywhere. And
best gravy to go with chips. How to cook Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
So the tip I would do, and I did a 1-minute video on this. It's called The Diet Without a Diet. It's something we did on Target Lean a little while ago, and it was called the Star Chart. And what you do is you just make a grid, 7 days. So across the top, Monday to Sunday, and down the side you've got 1, 2, 3, and then a thing for steps. And what you do is every day and this is for fat loss. Okay, so if you every day you don't have a regimented diet, what you do is you remove one item that you would normally have as a regular because most people eat the same sort of stuff most days. And this doesn't mean take out a meal. It just means take out. So say if you have like a couple of biscuits with your cup of tea, you remove one biscuit. If you have a pack of crisps, you have half a pack of crisps, that sort of thing. Not massive changes, just small things. Do 3 of those a day, log it on the graph. If you do 3, you get 3 stars, like a house point. And over the course of the week, I sort of worked this out with people who actually did it. And the average, if you had 3 stars and did 7 days a week, the average reduction in calories was about 1,800 calories, because you got about so let's say 80 calories per thing you take out. So a biscuit is 100 calories, like a hobnob's 100 calories. Half a pack of crisps is about 80-ish calories. You take all those things out, and then you do that 7 days a week. You've got around about, actually, no, it wasn't 1,800 calories, whatever that is. It was a fair amount. Anyway, whatever that was, because I haven't got my little notes with me, that's what they dropped. And we worked out that over the course, if they did that over the course of a month, they would be dropping just under a kilo, I think, something like that, of body fat. But should have got my notes up really for that. But the whole point is,
you've sort of messed it up by all the dithering and stuff you've been doing.
Yeah,
mine was quite fluent, but then again, I didn't do a video on it. So
okay. Well, actually, if you watch the video, I've got all the working out there. But the idea is that you're not following a diet plan, just doing whatever you're doing before and then restricting those things. And you can restrict the same things every day if you want, because after you've done that for 4 weeks, you then find out you don't need those things. So then that becomes a habit that you don't need those things. You've broken the habit of having 3 biscuits with your cup of tea. And by doing that, you can make very effective progress in terms of a weight loss or fat loss goal without actually following a rigid diet, without calorie tracking, without all that sort of stuff. So that would be, if you don't know where to start, you haven't got much money, everything else, that's the thing to do. And it's very.
I suppose you can level up on that idea of the star chart sort of thing, with my idea of increasing fluid intake.
Yeah, so you can have a separate box for fluid intake.
You could have a separate box for like a glass of water. I spoke in liters before, only because that's essentially how I measure mine. But a way that could mix your idea with mine is to have that Monday cross Sunday chart, and your goal is to have a glass, a tumbler or whatever it is, of water with each meal.
Yeah. I mean, there's people who produce like little, and have made a fair amount of money producing little diaries with all this sort of stuff in. So it's like wellness journals and stuff like that. So, at the top, you've got to write what you're thankful for today. And, did you feed a tramp today? All that sort of stuff. All that, I think, has to go in there. So yeah, it's, I mean, the whole point of this thing is again, it's about the smart goal setting and doing small things that take you to this big result. Because most people, when they're starting diets in January, it's like, right, well, I've got to cut out all my carbs. I've got to go vegan because that's somehow better. I've got to whatever, all these extreme things. And by the middle of January, they're completely burnt out. And it's, do you know what? Losing weight, that's a bit of a hassle, isn't it? I'll just stay fat and I'll just eat. And I'll try to do it and I've failed. And I'm, and then they got that compounding effect that they're a failure or whatever. Whereas really, if you do very small things, they can very quickly escalate into big snowball effects.
And that's the whole theory behind habits.
Yeah.
I install habits in all my coaching, and the main ones are fluid, protein, and sleep, and that then installs them over a period of time. But definitely 2 tips there that can certainly help. So I think we're coming up on an hour now.
We are coming on up an hour, and I've got to go training, and I've also got to see a client afterwards. So maybe we stop it there, and let's not say we're going to do one in 2 weeks, because when we say that, nothing ever happens. So let's say that we will do another podcast at some point. Okay, Paul. So anything new on your Instagram coaching that people can go to and get? Any free stuff? Anything you want to direct people towards to help them out?
I do want to if you're interested in gaining just knowledge, not just looking at visuals on Instagram, my Instagram is currently doing that. So I write a fair bit of text now so that I can give you some context to the visual, which doesn't normally happen with coaches. I am going to be pushing some free sort of hit stuff and video stuff out over the next couple of months. So look out for that. I'll be advertising it on Team P-Scarb, which is on Facebook, and Team P-Scarb, which is on Instagram. So yeah,
you have a Facebook group, like a free coaching face. Did I see that right? You got like a free group for?
Yeah, it's called Habits, Training, and Nutrition.
Ah, okay.
Which maybe I should probably promote that more.
Yeah. So because I think I'm in the group, and from what I've seen, I think about 10% of the stuff's good, so it's worth being in there. They make rude sounds on video.
I thought it was 69%, but what do I know?
That's the magic number, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently so.
Any other way? What ways can the people contact you if they want to?
Best way really is Instagram or on my website, which is teampscarb.co.uk. There is a contact button there and a coaching side where you can actually send me a bit of a message about whatever, and I'll get that and reply back to you. Obviously, direct messages through Instagram is also, those are the best ways. What about you?
So actually, I've built a nice little freebie that people might want to get. I've launched it just before Christmas as sort of like a Christmas bonus, and I kept it up because it was quite well received. So if you want to get 5 of my bodybuilding workouts, these are actually workouts I do use with clients and I have used myself, not just stuff I've made up for a free giveaway, which obviously never happens in coaching land. And it's actually good and usable, which also hardly ever happens in lead magnets. So if you go to BK Nutrition /vitamin T, although it actually comes out as vitamint. I realized that the other day. It's spelled vitamint, not vitamin T, although it's the same thing, but that's the way it reads. Or you can go on my IG, Instagram, and there's a direct link there. And you can get 5 workouts plus 3 bonus workouts. And you can use the app for 10 days. You can use the app that I built myself and, spent like 500 grand building. So I could give away like free apps.
I can give away
free workouts.
Free stuff, yeah.
So yeah, you can go and do that. And I've also loaded some new videos. But all that's available through, if you go to Instagram or if you go to the link in Instagram, there's a load of like services and stuff there. So there's calorie calculators, tracking tools, link to this podcast if you ever want to listen to it again. So all sorts of great stuff.
Cool. All right then. Well, we hope to do another one rather soon.
Don't jinx it,
Yeah, but
even this year it's probably optimistic.
Yeah. So that's it from me.
Is this the 2 Ronnies? And that's
that's it from me.
Who's the short one?
Yeah, you forever, the short one.
Oh, that's of course if your New Year's resolution holds out.
I'll still be taller than you. I'll just be in a box.
What a morbid discussion.
Yeah, I'll be like a modern day Ken. You can be Barbie.
If you're buried, that's minus 6 feet. So actually, I'd be like 6 foot taller than you then.
Yeah, well, that's the only time you would be. Right. So yeah, that's good.
All right, I'm off to train, and I'll see you later.